y'all, Crissy here from Crissy's Clucky Chronicles YouTube channel and CrissyShow.com website. You just find everything there, connect to all the social media outlets and all the fun stuff that we got there. Anyway, I'm chatting with y'all because we are going to be taking down the Halloween stuff and converting it all over to Christmas stuff. But in the meantime, we've got a porch project, a front porch project. That's kind of hard for me to say. Anyway, we've got a front porch project that's going on. We've got all kinds of stuff. I'm going to flip my camera around here and show you in just a little bit. And we're going to be taking a little walk. That's right. I promised y'all some fall color and fall leaves out here on the farm. So I'm going to show you guys what leaves have been changing, what's been going on, what's been happening. And we're really going to have a fabulous November. I think all the colors are starting to come out. So thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for subscribing. Thank y'all for hanging out with me because I'm kind of not ready for the cold weather. But I am kind of glad not to get ate up with 500 million little biting buggy flies and skeeter bugs and all kinds of stuff, so I can get little projects done. So here we go, y'all. Now, since we're redoing everything, I brought the sawhorses and stuff up here on the front porch. We've got the new wood. I'm not worried about paint on that because we're going to paint this anyway. But if you can look, all the spindles are off, so we're repainting everything. We're redoing everything. I still haven't sprayed the pots because it rained. It's been raining. We're going to be ripping all this up and redoing all the steps and redoing all the spindles and stuff down here. So we're just taking our time with things. I've got my paint mixer thingy on my little tool there, so I can mix this 5-gallon bucket of outdoor paint. I've got spindles that we've saved from all around here. Everything's been taken apart because there's a lot of these spindles that I'm going to reuse and repurpose for a different project. Y'all know how I like to reuse and redo different things. So once we get the new spindles up, I'm going to show you guys that. I don't know if we'll get to that today. We might not. But I'm going to eventually show you guys the new spindles that we got from Vivor that I think are super cute. We're going to go with a matte black spindle that we got from there, like a, I don't know what they are. Anyway, they're just cute. I like them. So we're going to put everything there across the front of the porch. We will be getting down all of the Halloween stuff here, trading all this stuff here out, moving some spindles to put on the back porch project, working on all kinds of things, and just getting all of this done. And I'll just tell you what the plans are. But anyway, let's walk down and take a look at the leaves. So as you can see, we've had a ton of rain off and on, and it's been going on like this for a couple of days. We've had different kinds of cold fronts and things come through, so the leaves are out in the yard all over again. And I think I'm just going to wait until I can manage the leaves and get all that up when they dry out a little bit. So hopefully we'll get some dry spells. I have been cleaning out here in the front part of the flower beds here, but I haven't been able to do too much because it's been too wet and too gross. So I'm getting there. We're working all this out, and I'm going to rework and replant the roses because they have literally stuck the mess out of me. Anyway, moving on. So I promised you guys leaf changes. Look how pretty. Now, right out here on the property, which I'm going to go around and show you guys, there's a lot of yellows. Here. There's a lot of mixture of yellows and oranges and reds. So I'm just going to stroll down this lower part of the property here and show you guys what I'm talking about. And right here, look at the dogwood tree. It is so red and just crimson and greens and different kinds of colors and stuff. So in North Carolina, yes, you do get a lot of the fall fall weathers and things. And my puppy dog's out here playing with the balls, so if he runs past, no worries. But you can see all the yellows all the way through there. It is just absolutely just really gorgeous. Now me, I like evergreens, so you're going to see things that I've planted out here, camellias, different sorts of things, ligustrums and things, because I like green year round. I'm more of a tropical warm climate person. You guys know I have an affinity for Florida. I love Florida. If I ever win the lottery, I'll gladly, you know, have a nice little place down there, but you know, for the time being, we got to be happy with what we got. These are all the azaleas that are here. They may shed. I don't know if they will or not. They might. Who knows? Anyway, but this is my row of ligustrums here that I'm going to let get really, really super thick, real nice, and make me a really tall 10-foot high hedge that we will work around here to encase the front yard. And over here, these things have been absolutely wonderful beauties for the last 3 years. And the new bolts in the spring that'll come off, probably that one, I will tie into another one, and we'll tie them with pantyhose, because pantyhose doesn't cut into the tree as bad as strings do. And once they interlock themselves like these have, they will tangle themselves up together, and they will make a natural connection bridge here. And the only reason why we couldn't plant another bush down here, another ligustrum bush down here, is because power lines run through here. And when they marked it off, they said that's a big no-no. I don't know about y'all, but I don't do good in power, so I just don't feel like I want to electrify myself. These have bolted, and these are doing great. These are what I call snowball bushes. So I wanted them to meet here at the corner, which they're doing great. And they're just doing their line right down there. So probably in the spring I will buy some more and put some more all the way down through here and back there in the back. I'm trying to let this have room, because this right here, when they get to full size, they can get to be about 8 to 10 feet around. So I'm trying to do a little bit of room, but it's okay if they kind of mesh together a little bit, because these snowballs are they're supposed to be white, but they show up green first, and then they turn into like a creamy white color, big huge flowers on the end. Hydrangeas, some of you guys call it, but this is a different variety here for eastern North Carolina with the type of clay that we have out here. So my goal is to have a big beautiful hedge of these types of hydrangeas in here. Snowball bushes there. That's the oh shoot, I forgot the name of that. That thing right there is a monster to deal with, and I've got to get a vine out of that as well. What is that thing? I forgot the name of it. Anyway, it's a pain in the booty hole. So my goal is to get these all the way down here to meet with the fuzzy thing that is itchy, and then have these come back and meet these, and just have a sea of these in this area right here, so I don't have to cut grass as much. They'll choke out the grass once I get all these bushes in here planted, and they're going to be absolutely fantastical, and I'm going to love it, because I'm not doing anything really back here other than I trimmed that stuff off back there in the back, and I will probably do something else, but I don't know what I'm going to do right there, but I'm just trying to get these areas right here looking real cute and looking real nice. But let's just take a nice little gander at everything and just look at all the pretty colors and things as it's changing. And we've got the greens, the oranges, the yellows, the reds, the browns, just everything is so stinking pretty. And I like it. And it took forever for our leaves to change. It really did. It took a very, very long time for our leaves to change. Anyway, let's go in the back of the farm and let's go talk to some floofs. Now, it's a little chilly, a little too chilly out here for me to even be in short sleeves, but we are absolutely going to be doing that in short sleeves today, because I get hot even when I work. So if I need to put on like a sweater or jacket or something, then I will do that. But for right now, I am going to just mosey on to the back part of the farm back here and show you guys some of the floofs that are out here. Now, there's construction work going on still everywhere. Next door, farms across the road. You can hear a lot of stuff going on. Anyway, some of my floof babies think I have snackies. I don't. Let's go to the barn and grab them some snackies and have some little conversations. Alright, one of the greatest things about having these mealworms and these things is you can train all of your floofs. You can train them to eat out of your hand. You can take them and chunk them out anywhere you want to. They will go wherever the mealworms go. And I think it's absolutely fabulous. I have some girls that look kind of rough, and some people are like, oh, are those spur marks? Is there something that... I have some old birds out here, and some of their feathers just don't grow back, y'all. You know, so don't freak out about it. And then we do have saddles for some, but some of my girls are hard to keep saddles on because they do get them off. And they have help. Nana Rue's been known to chew off a couple of saddles here and there. So yeah, I love this time of just snacky time. Look at my guineas. They're doing so good with everybody. But I've got some old girls here and some old boys, and you know, they're just doing their thing. Ain't that right, Nana Rue? Nana Rue, would you like some snackies from your mommy before everybody comes up to get some? Nanny would like some snackies. Nah, he just wants me to chunk them. But you can train your floofs all over the place with just snackies. Hey, Vicky. Her such a good girl. Her such a good girl. She did so good from her bad injuries that she had from the hawk. She's fully, completely recovered. We're very grateful and thankful of that. She's just as feisty as ever, and she tells Tracy what to do, which is interesting. Well, Vader, you don't eat mealworms, but okay. You're such a good boy. Sorry, Nana Rue, he walked right in the middle of you. You're so cute, but you don't eat mealworms. He likes to sniff them though. Really? They did? Oh my goodness. Well, Tracy, I really don't know what to tell you, buddy. Well, I'll keep a better watch out next time, okay? Alright. Alright, so we're back inside because it's getting a little too cold for me and a little bit too dark. So I'm going to do a little bit of supper. I'm going to cook a little bit on the Blackstone griddle that we have outside. I'm going to be doing some typical hamburgers and dogs, hot dogs out there on the grill. Mostly cheeseburgers because they just like cheeseburgers. And I guess you guys want that little recipe too for what I do with my hamburgers and my hamburger meat and what stuff I mix in the hamburger meat. Everybody's season's a little bit different. I just season to what I'm used to and what we kind of growed up doing when we could make hamburgers and hot dogs when we had a little charcoal grill. So everybody has their own little taste, and I guess I'll show you what we do. So give me just a minute to flip this here camera thingy around and I'm going to show you. Alright, all you want to get is some ground beef. I'm not going to use all of this because I'm going to divide this up. I'm going to use just enough so our family of 5, they can have at least 1 burger, if not 2 burgers a piece, because typically I won't even, I make them so big I won't even have a whole one. Most of the time I'll cut it in half, save the other half for later. But just get you some ground beef, any kind you want. I typically get the 17 gram, but they didn't have it, so I just have the 19 gram. And all that is just protein. Now let's go to get the stuff, the yummy seasoning stuff to go on the inside of it. Alright, first things first, y'all, we got to get this hamburger meat, ground beef. And like I said, I'm just going to use like half of it. And I don't want to leave it in this big chunk. So all I'm going to do is just take my fingers and just break it up a little bit. Break it up into the bowl. Because you don't want, you want to be able to mix all the seasonings and stuff in pretty well with this. And it doesn't work really well if you can't like break up the clumps and stuff. That way when you mix it in, every little piece of this ground beef has got some kind of seasoning or something stuck into it. I will go ahead and tell you this, what I have learned over the years from, my granny and them teaching me how to cook and all this stuff over my long life, is that when you're crumpling up, and you're working with ground beef and hamburger meat, you want to make sure that your wet to dry ratio is as equal as you can get it. You don't want too many wet things in there, because then your hamburger's not going to stick together. It's going to be too mushy and too soft, and then when you try to flip it over on the grill, it's going to come apart and it's going to make you mad. So you don't have to overdo it with the seasonings. Just know that there is a balance to it, and sometimes you just have to figure that out on your own. Alright, so now let's talk about seasonings. One of the things I like to use is I like to do minced onion. Now you don't have to do minced onion, but I do, because I kind of like that little fleck of onion throughout. Not everybody does, and it's your prerogative. You can do onion powder. Now, as far as what you need, I would say probably do maybe a tablespoon of that. And then I have garlic powder, because I just feel like this is better than using the onion, like the chunks, like fresh garlic. Probably a tablespoon of that on top. So that goes your onion and your garlic. And then I want to do the salt. So, you want to season it good. So probably it's a good tablespoon of salt and a good old smackle of pepper, as much or as little as you like. I mean, it's up to you. I kind of like my seasonings. Now here's where you got to be careful. You want to make sure that the wet ingredients don't overpower the meat, because the meat is already has a damp and wet consistency as it is. So I'm going to do a couple of dashes of the Washy Sister sauce. So I just do a little bit of that in there. I don't know, it's probably about 4 or 5 good shakes in there. Then I want to get some ketchup and not make a mess, which I always do. Just swirl a little bit of ketchup in there. I don't know, probably about a tablespoon or 2 as I make a mess. And I like to do a little bit of barbecue sauce. Use whatever kind you like. This is a hickory brown sugar barbecue sauce. That's all I got. Use what you want. And I like to put in like a little, like I did that, a good old swirly swirl, maybe a tablespoon of that. And what you're going to do is you're going to get in there and you're going to mix it together with your hands, but you're not going to over mix it. So let's do that next while I get this mess up from my ketchup spill. Now all you want to do is get your hand in there and just mix it up a little bit. And like I said, you don't want to overdo it. I like to use gloves because I have found out that the heat from your hands will make that meat just not do what you want it to do. And like I said, when you go to put these patties together and put it on the grill, it's going to be too much wet, and then it's not going to stick together. It's not going to bind together well, and you're going to have a hard time. And then you go to flip the burger and it falls apart, and you end up saying a bunch of words that you didn't want to do. And there you go. So this is about how done I'm going to do it. And I'm just going to pinch me off a good ball like that, roll it a little bit, and then I'm just going to pat it out into little patties, and pat it out, like that, and just kind of get it to the shape that I want. I don't want it too thin, but I also don't want it too thick to where it doesn't cook in the middle either. I'm not perfect with hamburger shape, so if you got you a hamburger press, I've got one. I hate that thing. I've tried to use it 2 or 3 times and it don't like me back. So that's about what I'm doing. And then we're going to put it there and we're going to fill this up. Alrighty, so here's the hamburger patties. I'm going to throw some dogs on as well. We're going to have hamburgers and hot dogs, basically cheeseburgers. I'll show you the cheese here in just a little bit. And I don't know what to tell you to cook your burgers at, but you cook them the way you like them, because we like ours done. So that's how it works. So if you have a Blackstone or not, you can do this on a regular grill. I don't keep the temperature turned up extremely high because I want them to cook kind of low and kind of slow, so the middles will be done so I don't burn the outsides of them. Put my dogs off to the side because that's the coolest part of the Blackstone that I have here. And then under here I use this to melt the cheese on the burgers that are already done. So that's the purpose of the dome, which I like. And I also will use that to get the burgers up to temperature, internal temperature too. So it serves a great purpose here. So I'm just going to cook and then I'm going to show you when we're done, because I can't hold this thing and show you too. Okay, well these are just about well done like we like them, and it's soon going to be time for me to slap on this cheese. I'm using this it's a Colby and Monterey Jack square cheese. Well, good Lord, you can't even see that. There it goes. It's the little square cheese slices. That's what we use, and we'll chunk them on the top. We'll throw that dome over it, and we'll melt the snot out of it, and it'll be yummy, yummy, good, good, good. There you go, all nice and bubbly and melted. The dogs are done hanging out, so I'm going to put these in the pan, and we're going to be ready to chow down. There you go, y'all. Burgers and dogs, burgers and dogs. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to eat real quick and I'm going to wrap it up and come right back with you in a little bit, give you some updates. Alright, y'all, that's going to do it for today. Checking in with the floofs, looking around at the leaves and different things that we've planted, and looking at the different color changes that's going on outside with the fall colors and all that. Porch projects front and back. Oh, and we made burgers and dogs. So I think that's going to wrap up for today's little video, and I'm tired, so I've got to go put the lid back on the paint bucket, and then we're going to call it a day. And I'll check back in with you guys daily for the YouTube shorts. Don't forget that. We do have a Facebook group. It's a fabulous group. Just go check it out. Crissy's Clucky Chronicles. Don't forget the website, CrissyOShow.com, because we're almost at 1,500 subscriber goal. And I want to send you guys my free downloadable digital recipe book with eggs. Yes, chicken, duck, quail, all kinds of cool recipes in there. I want to give it to you for free, but only if you're subscribed to the channel and you're signed up for the email list. Because if you're not subscribed to the channel, you're not signed up to the email list, I can't send it to you. And if you snooze, you lose, okay? So do those things. I'll be back with you on some more porch project updates and decorating for Christmas. Gotta get my porch done first. Anyway, then we're gonna decorate for Christmas, and we're gonna throw up some lights and do some front porch cuteness and put up the Halloween stuff. I don't know what else to tell y'all. You know, if y'all can't be good, just whatever it is, be good at it. So, bye.